just to recap, Eloise is still sick, you know that. We're talking about Guardian. They'll be here for the grant next week. The reason why it's 9,000 degrees in here is because TC Controls was here today.
Lovely.
And apparently they left the heat on. Actually, part of it too is there was a closed door meeting in here for several hours and it just...
And I think that they'll be back tomorrow, because Ken said they'll be popping in and out TC Controls for a couple days, trying to, they said, so far, the dampers, there were 4, all at that end of the building that weren't working.
Color me
So
shocked.
That's part of
Color me
the
shocked.
problem.
We knew this building had significant error. Every single time we've had a pro team come in here and look at it, they found broken stuff every time.
So is that because it's overwhelming for maintenance guys?
I think it's maintenance deferred. I think it is maybe a bit of a skill gap. You know, nothing gets Fred, nothing gets his predecessor, but that wasn't typically where their areas of expertise were. They tend to be more focused on the highway side,
Yeah.
which is where we need them.
Yeah, that's kind of.
We now at least have Ken here.
Yeah.
So he's constantly trying to get things, and he's walking around with the guys today,
So
you know,
that's-
letting them know what's going on, what's happening in the different rooms.
That's wonderful. I didn't realize, I didn't know Ken. I didn't know that that was his role. I didn't know anything. So I was pretty excited to hear that. Having a dedicated building person is really quite huge for us. So hopefully that'll come out. And with the Guardian thing, I don't know if you know this, but we made a pivot, so to speak. We were talking about doing the library in 1870, and they wanted a shot at this building. They wanted to go effectively all heat pump throughout here, which is what we talked about previously.
We
And
just didn't think we'd be able to.
we didn't think we could pull it off, and Guardians said
Get
they
it.
thought they could do it. So I
Okay.
gave them a shot.
That would be nice, because
Mhm.
the last time I was at 1870, the thermostats were set to 61. The actual reading was 79 on the first floor, and we were on the second floor dancing. So it was over 80 degrees up there. And-
Sounds like we have work to do there too.
Yeah.
Okay. This building is huge though. I mean, I was telling Amy, the numbers is something like 11,000 gallons of oil last year.
It's insane.
It's an insane amount, on top of pretty extensive electric.
Yeah.
We're getting weekly oil deliveries
Mhm.
here.
But is that just heat, or is that hot water?
Heat and water.
Though I don't know how much hot water we use here. Not that much, right? Just
Probably
the
not.
police showers and stuff like that. So I gave them some parameters. They said, we want to be future focused. We want this building to work seamlessly together. You need to take into account any expansion that police and fire does, because they've had plans on the books for many years to put barracks over there.
Isn't that the beauty of heat pumps, though?
It is the beauty of heat pumps.
I mean, they just.
They're modular.
Yeah.
So if they build the infrastructure to support modular heat pumps, I think we're in good shape. And I mean, I don't think it would necessarily change the the air handler that we just put on, because we still have built-in ventilation. So we'll see. It's on them. And I said we have many complaints out of this building, either roasting or freezing, all year long. And
Sometimes both in the same day.
sometimes both in the same day, and do what you can.
Just to keep you on your toes.
Just to keep you on your toes. Also, the energy aggregation, we talked about this. For municipal aggregation, we'll be getting indicative pricing tomorrow. So we'll be up for our renewal of our 3-year contract, or going out to bid for 3 years.
Who fends off the questions from Berlin neighbors complaint?
Me, typically. I let a lot of them go by. But if they contact us directly through like the energy committee, I'll answer them. This year I've probably had 3. Most of the time it's, how do I enroll? How do I unenroll? How do I get information? I'm new to town. And it's,
I did see the new to town one come by.
yeah, and the answer's always the same. Go to Colonial Energy www.berlin, and all your information will be found there. So it's pretty easy. Most of the Berlin neighbors unite, complain, rant. They frequently confuse the power supply portion with the delivery side.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why I call it what I do.
So there we are. All right. Go ahead.
I said, okay.
I think that's it from our old business. So we got a lot of stuff moving. We look like we're gonna do, if Guardian delivers like they say they're going to, we should be in good shape for the spring round of Green Community Grants, which will be apparently the first time in 7 years. That puts us in a good spot if we do want to do the Climate Leaders Program, which we talked about last meeting. One thing, go
I
ahead.
did talk to Richard.
Oh, did you? Excellent.
He said he knows of it.
Mhm.
He's like not a huge fan. He said he would come to a meeting and explain kind of from his perspective where he was thinking from. But he said it's very, very limiting
Okay.
because it is changing all the code. And if you update anything, if you are building new, it has to be to the new code.
Did he explain how, what I read was it's already gone into effect as of January 1st, 2024. That's not the case?
He didn't say that, because he said it's something that you have to actually
Adopt.
adopt.
Okay.
Maybe it was available for
So-
adoption as of that date.
Yeah, I didn't read it that closely. I mean, also reading it this size is
Yeah.
always a challenge.
Yeah, I figured at least if I could get an idea of where, and as soon as I said it, he goes, oh.
Did he give you, well, we'll have him here. Let's
So,
just have him speak for
I did.
himself here.
Yeah, I figured I'd wait, because this one got jumbled.
So what do you guys, I've been kicking this around, I've talked to Lisa a couple times about this, and I always go back and forth. I'm considering, how at town meeting, there's the very opening section where any committees, if you didn't do an annual report, you're required to speak, but there's also an open invitation for anybody to say anything. I've been considering standing up during that period and just saying something to the effect, hey, I wanted to give an update on the Green Communities Program. It's evolving into the Climate Leaders Program. At this point, we're considering, moving into that to take advantage of grant funding. In the summer, we will be doing a coffee talk to explain that more. I was considering talking about what the provisions were, and then I'm like, well, do I want to stir people up right before a town meeting? Or
Yeah, generalities, I think, are good at that point, because everyone's like, come on, let's get going so we can get home. And there's always gonna be that one person that is just gonna slip on one point, and
Yeah.
you're gonna totally go down a side path.
Yeah.
So I think keeping it to generalities and letting them know there's gonna be a coffee talk where you can talk in detail about it.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Okay. That's kind of where I am right now. I think that it will come off not as a call to action or whatever, but a public service announcement saying, hey, please come to coffee talk, which I'm sure the select board will like, because they don't get people to the coffee talk anyway.
How far after the town meeting will be the coffee talk?
It hasn't been scheduled yet.
Okay. I was gonna say, because you could do the handouts that they have in the beginning.
Yeah. I thought about that too.
Yeah, I mean, just to, you could give the 3 sentences as a talk, and then just say, if you need to know more details, there's the handouts that you saw when you came in.
I could also just read off the webpage, or have a flyer for the webpage printed out. Because the state explains everything. They've got a whole huge
Yeah.
launch platform for it. So,
Oh, that, I mean, that's good too. I mean, if you just say, if you want to know more, go to the website. That's probably the easiest.
If you want to ask questions, come to the coffee talk.
Yeah.
Thank you, Barry.
Yeah, that'll save a couple hundred trees.
Okay, so I'll probably do that. I just think that we don't want to over-rotate, but we do want to start this socialization process here
Yeah.
because.
I mean, there's always gonna be the people that say, why didn't anybody tell me about this?
Mhm. But if we can point to a pattern of, we said it in town meeting last year, we went to a coffee talk, we said it again at fall town meeting, should we have one?
Yeah.
And now we're before you, maybe spring of next year. nothing
Right.
comes. We're actually going to do this. We told you 3 times.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And-
Well, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a fall town meeting.
So, okay. Other than that, so I guess we need to get Richard here. So I'll try to schedule something with him. So let's talk about EVs.
Yes.
So, we did find, so Amy printed this off, thankfully, and there was some contradiction in the documents. I was wondering if you knew about.
No, I didn't go through them first because I wanted to see if it was something we could go forward with, if there was money in the budget to do it, because as far as I understand, the way grants work, the way they've always worked for me, is you pay and then you get reimbursed. So if there was no money in the budget, then there's no point in doing the research. If we said, yes, this is something we could do, then I was gonna dive in and see what I could come up with. And it's an online application, which are usually pretty quick. We just have to have everything that we need in PDF format before we submit.
Okay, so I know that economic development is also working this. Corinne, what do we say,
I think.
Corinne Gustafson has been working. Livingston Energy came to us to do one,
Okay.
and she's got another one, and Kristen actually turned her on to yet a third one. So there's a lot of work in this place. I think that from a budgetary standpoint, I don't think there's a specific line item, but I think there's enough loose change from like ARPA funds rattling around in the cushions that we could probably do it. I know like Kristen has expressed
I
interest.
think usually if it's a reimbursement grant, it would, as long as you get it, we would make the line item
Mhm.
as that it's a reimbursement grant. It would get paid from that, and then the money would get put back in.
There you go.
So, because, I mean, there's a lot of grants that the departments don't necessarily have the money. That's why they're getting.
Well, the police just got a big one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have to look at timelines, because if we have to make it a line item, then a lot of time, you can't start the project till you get the grant approval. You have to have the money in place, and then you have to have it signed off on by all of the inspectors in order to get reimbursed. And I'm only explaining this from the point of view of having solar put in. And there's a deadline, you have to have it signed off by a certain time or you lose the grant.
Yep.
So making it a line item, we just have to keep in mind the timeline for everything. I'm probably saying stuff you're already well aware of.
That's okay. Do we know, is this a do-it-yourself grant, meaning we'd hire the?
I don't know, like I said,
Okay.
I said, I wanna talk about this. If it's a possibility, I will look into it in more detail.
That, what's the top one?
Aren't these all the same for everybody?
Oh, no.
Oh, they're not,
No.
you're right.
The other side has what is covered and what is not covered. It actually lists out what's not covered.
I'm tempted, do you think we should just ask for a joint meeting between ourselves and EDC to talk about this?
Yeah, who are the EDC members?
It's
again?
Peter Hoffman, Corinne
I don't know
Gustafson,
who else.
and that may be it. They may just have 2. I've only seen 2.
That's even less than ours.
I know. When they came to the select board, it was just Peter and Corinne.
So the contradiction that we have in here
Mm-hmm.
is, in that document I believe you have, it says that it only does level 1 and 2 AC
Yes.
charging. In the frequently asked questions, it says, programs will fund level 1 and level 2 AC charging stations and DC charging stations up to 36 kilowatts. So we have a contradiction.
DC is level 3, isn't it?
That's why it's weird, because normally I don't see DC listed as a level 2.
All right, would you like me to contact someone and ask about that?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, if you're willing.
Oh, why not?
So what do you think? Should we just get us together with economic development?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
then we would at least know what they found.
It could be a super short
You
meeting.
know, we don't want to duplicate what they're doing or research
Yeah.
that they've done.
Okay, so joint meeting.
Also, we don't want to bruise any egos.
Correct. And we don't want
We don't want to spend money twice or do something silly like that either.
they may have already applied for that. We don't even know.
Do they do meeting minutes?
Supposed to. They probably have, their loyal viewers as well, so maybe we can watch them on YouTube. Give them some views. Like and comment down below.
I had one video go viral, 5 million views.
Really?
Yeah. It's done nothing for me.
It's done nothing for you? Didn't pay off the farm?
Oh, gosh, no.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So I'm game, I guess is
Okay.
the.
All right, well, I guess there's 2 emails that, well, I can't email EDC because technically I'm not on this board.
To set it up, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Or even just, it might be a 2-part question. Have you looked at this? Have you done anything? If not, if you have, can we get together?
Yeah, we should get together because we can't technically have any discussions with them outside of the public forum. I guess I could chair to chair, but as soon as, because they only have 2 members, if he talks to Corinne, all of a sudden we
Yeah,
we
it's
establish
unsafe.
quorum.
I know.
Yeah. I think the fastest way to do this is just get like a 5:30 meeting or 6 o'clock meeting. Or maybe we just come to one of their meetings if they have it scheduled or vice versa and just knock it out.
Do they meet monthly, bi-monthly,
Oh.
or weekly? I am full of questions.
Let's see.
And, I am like Google queen. It's like if I don't know the answer, I Google it.
I now use Google Lens for everything.
You know what my favorite is to use it for? Translating Chinese.
Economic development.
You can put your camera over and you hit the translate button and it turns everything into English. So you can figure out that this green stuff is matcha tea. So,
Well,
Japanese.
they haven't updated their webpage because they show Peter, Paul Anderson, Jason Rowell, and Jeff Green. And they don't have Corinne in there. I know Corinne's a member.
Right.
So they're doing Zoom. 6 p.m. April 1st is their next meeting.
Is it a Wednesday or Monday?
Oh, it's an outstanding question.
It's a Monday. Easter Monday. Is that a recognized government holiday?
Not for us to have
Let's see what
Monday
their
off.
agenda is.
So,
Oops, they don't have an agenda.
it might be too early. I know we don't do ours until, I think, 48 hours.
We have a standard one. I know I'm not supposed to do that, but we talk about the same thing every meeting. It's just a variance on the theme.
Assuming you're on My Town Government.
I am on my town government.
I don't know, why do we have 2 websites? It's so confusing.
It was a decision that was made by Eloise many years ago, as far as I know. Probably is, not probably, I know this to be true. It predates the current incarnation of the website. And I don't think the old website had the capability to do it. The new one does.
Yeah, it's just nothing translates over.
No. But it is not my call. However, I agree with you. I'd love to have it on a single
And
platform.
you can just put in the, the forwarding HTML so it goes over to the other one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a calendar feed from this thing in RSS. We could just build an RSS out of it. So,
All right, so I put EDC. EDC's on Zoom. I put it on. As you probably know from being watching Zoom but not being on the committee,
Yeah.
you can't see who else is in the audience.
yeah. Oh, you were asking about my website or my email address too? Do you have it now?
I do not. Not unless somebody emailed me and I haven't looked.
I think
I may
I
have-
reply all.
You may have replied to all, yeah, let's see. It's pretty easy. It's just timothy.wysocki@gmail.com.
Where? Oh, no, hang on.
For our viewers, if you want to contact me, there you go.
Here we are.
It's funny, because every time I get email from Eloise, it's my personal email.
Which do you prefer? Because I do the same thing.
Doesn't matter.
It
doesn't
sometimes I
matter.
even send it to both.
Yeah.
I have your AOL one. Do you
Yeah.
want it to your other one?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I know on the day that we have a meeting to check and be like, okay, is everything still?
Yeah, I gotta
Has
admit,
anyone had me?
If I really need to talk to you, I do use your work one, the common
Yes.
town account.
Okay. All right, so I have the AOL and I have Tim's, which is pretty obvious now that I see it. So, okay. In case you haven't noticed, I am slow to respond to emails.
Yeah.
The texts show up and, because I'll hear the ding, but emails, it's like breakfast and lunch and that's it.
I was gonna say, yeah, pretty much lunchtime, it's like, okay, who's emailing me?
I spend all day long answering and sending emails. The last thing I want to do when I get off work is
Just check more.
check more emails, so I'm really bad. I had to actually add the Energy Committee one to my iPad here because that was horrible. I was checking it like once a month and people would be in there. Or Kristen would send something and I wouldn't answer and I was getting in trouble, so.
Yeah, we have to get everybody's phone number so we can text when somebody forgets to show up for the meeting.
Poor Peg was here last week.
Oh, was she? Yeah, Roger, I was downstairs during the election, and Roger's like, what, no energy meeting came in? I'm like, the polls are
I'm
open.
busy.
We can't have any meetings today. So, because I felt bad. I'm
I
like,
didn't know that was a rule.
I think it's more, I don't know if it's a rule or it's just.
You don't, yeah.
Just not done, maybe it's tradition. I think it actually,
I don't know.
I don't know. I would prefer the meetings weren't going on when we were having an election.
Right. Because you don't really want extra people, depending on what kind of meeting it was. If
Yeah.
it were something that is,
No, not everybody has time to vote.
I heard that we're gonna have to do a recount.
For what?
For
Maybe.
was it submitted? James hasn't given me the update.
yeah,
For 1 month.
he told me today, maybe. They're not sure. They haven't given him an answer.
Well, if they didn't submit it by yesterday, it's not happening. So the Republican State Committee woman, so this would be the race with Lisa Mayer, is, I don't have the exact numbers. I heard the difference was as low as 30 votes. So that's under the rules of allowed recount. So that's not my drill. That's actually the registrars of voters that have to do that. But
There weren't that many Republican ballots.
about 600.
Oh, that was more than I expected.
Okay.
All
That's
right,
all I have.
so, yeah, when I saw the piles, I just saw mostly red, so there's more Democrat. Okay, this is off topic, but there was an email that went through about being aware of the current population of the town, because once we hit the 3,500 threshold, things change. It was from Kristen, and I tried to find out what those changes would be.
In what sense?
Small towns have different regulations, I believe, than larger towns, and 3,500 was the cutoff. And right now, we're at 3,300.
Sometimes it's easier to get grants
Oh,
if you're under versus over. Sometimes you can't apply if you're over versus under, I think was the gist of it.
okay.
Yeah, it seemed like there was more to it than that, but it was something that I wanted to ask. If I didn't get my answer ahead of time, I was gonna ask it at town meeting. Only because they're talking about another development in town, residential development. Like, that would put us over.
Are you referring to the one at the mall? I heard
Yeah.
I heard that they were looking at, potentially Simon was looking at an apartment complex.
No, not there, but that's another one. No, this is over on River Road. I
Right.
think that was, I want to say 18 houses, I'm not sure.
Is the mall thing gonna be at the mall? Or like?
Yeah, we're at the empty big buildings.
Yep. I don't know anything about it. I heard that
That's
second.
strange.
I just know that,
Makes me think of Natick.
well, there was there one like Quincy or something like that, where they're gonna put a huge one in, and it got voted down in town meeting, and there's much to do.
Missed it.
Well, those kind of pressures they're gonna cascade through public safety, they're gonna cascade through the budget, they're gonna cascade through
School
schools.
system. Yeah. I think it's important for everyone to be aware of it before they vote. So, oh my God. I'm sorry, I'm dressed for being in a barn.
I feel you, I understand. So that's all I have.
Okay.
Any other business we wanna do here?
No, I'm
I don't
gonna
think
make
so.
notes though, so I don't forget.
I
Okay.
think my only update was that I did talk to Richard,
Okay.
and he is totally fine with coming to a meeting.
So your notes are way better. Could you send those to Eloise for meeting minutes?
Sure. I'll have to make them make more sense, but, yeah.
Well, or just send it to me and I'll put them together. That's fine. We can even take a picture of it and I'll try to.
You know,
decipher it.
I like Guardian chat, no library. Check the bill.
Or I could just watch the video and take the meeting minutes from the video. With that, I
You need that
would.
software that translates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though I have to say, I use the closed captioning for Teams at work, and some of the choices it makes can
It's
lead
like-
to hilarity. Let's put it that way.
Oh. Well, I would assume like talk to text. When
Yeah.
I do talk to text, it's like, some people have come up with some very interesting nicknames based
Well-
on what it thinks I said.
Yes, apparently I have a shopping lust, and
Man.
and I'm always going to the bar, not the barn.
Ah.
Motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.